Okay, settle down. Tonight, we're here to talk about a man. A man so freakishly good at his job, it feels less like a career and more like a long running science experiment. We are talking about Philip Palmer. And look, I've seen the files, I've read the reports. This isn't some nice little tribute. No, this is an investigation. We need to know how this happened. Who's responsible for letting this man become so consistently, so pathologically competent?
Right, let's just get into it. Because to understand this creature, you first have to understand the basic conflict that made him. It's this war between his factory settings and what the corporate world tried to install on top of it.
So, Exhibit A. On your left, his personality test. High extroversion, low conformity. This basically screams, I will say what I want when I want, and I will probably do it loudly. But then on the right, his 1999 performance review. Some brave soul in middle management told him he needs a softer approach. A softer approach? What are you asking him to do? Grow a second uterus? Because being soft is a messy biological disaster. It's hormones, it's weird fluids, it's crying in your car for no reason. You can't just tell a man who was wired to be a bulldozer to be softer. That's like asking a crocodile to try mindfulness. The hardware, it just ain't there.
And this is his actual written response. I do not dance around issues. If I think it, I say it. See, this isn't him being a jerk. This is just the math. This is what you get when you take a U.S. Marines get-it-done operating system and you blend it with a guy who's been doing public speaking since he was in kindergarten. He's literally programmed for directness. Asking him to soften it is like asking your microwave to have more empathy for the burrito. It doesn't compute.
And this is the punchline to the whole joke. His hard style was so damaging, so counterproductive, that they gave him Employee of the Month right after that review, the very next month. It's like the universe looked down at that manager's feedback, had a good laugh, and was like, oh, honey, no, you don't get it. This is peak performance. Now go get him a plaque and some stale cake.
So, you have to wonder, where did a thing like this come from? What primordial ooze did he crawl out of? To understand that, we have to go back, way back, to the origin story.
And here it is, the beginning. Growing up poor in a single-parent home. See, this doesn't just build character, okay? It installs a primal, deep-seated fear of wasting anything. Time, energy, words. It explains why he's so obsessed with the people aspect of everything. When you start out with nothing, you learn really fast that people are the only asset you have, and you cannot afford to waste their time with nonsense.
And then you add this to the mix. He had trouble focusing in school, right? A chaotic brain. But he went home every day to a house run by prison wardens. Can you imagine that? It's like trying to meditate in the middle of a monster truck rally. His mind is pure chaos, but his home life is extreme, unrelenting discipline. You'd think that would break a person, but no, it created this perfect hybrid. A focused, stable machine powered entirely by internal chaos. This right here, this explains everything. This is the genetic code for his entire career. His mom goes from social services, dealing with human feelings, to IT. That is his whole personality right there. Empathy hardwired into a server. Then, his stepdad was an IBM systems engineer. He was basically raised by a human empathy chip and a walking mainframe.
So, what do you do with a background like that? You don't run from it. You weaponize it. You take all that weird, contradictory programming and you unleash it on the corporate world. This is where he learns to control his mutant power.
So it turns out all those focus problems, it was undiagnosed ADD. And this is the whole secret. He knew what it was like to be that person in a mandatory training session, bored out of your mind, fantasizing about faking your own death to get out of it. So he made a vow. I'll never forget what it's like to be on the other side. He didn't just become a trainer. He became an EnterTrainer. It's a teaching style born from the shared trauma of terrible PowerPoints. He had to make it fun because he knew he was his own most difficult student.
And other people, they saw it too. This quote isn't just a compliment. It's a diagnosis. The Robin Williams of IT service management. Do you understand what that means? It means you're taking something as mind-numbingly dry as ITIL frameworks and turning it into a manic, unforgettable stand-up comedy set. It's like doing magic tricks at a tax audit. It's deeply weird, but my God, it works. And look at the speed. It's just disgusting. He gets certified at this place, EnterTrainer, in April. By July, 3 months later, he's Trainer of the Month. That is not a learning curve. That is a hostile takeover of the entire concept of learning.
His method was so effective, so fast, it should have been investigated for performance-enhancing drugs.
But you have to ask, right? Does this whole I care about people and let's make it fun thing actually hold up under pressure, under real soul-crushing pressure? So let's test that theory in the seventh circle of hell, a retail job.
And this, right here, is the smoking gun. In between consulting jobs, he works at an electronics store, and he gets this letter. Why? Because he spent hours of his life helping a woman burn a 7-hour CD for her patient who was a bedridden quadriplegic. This isn't about commission, this isn't customer service, this is a fundamental character flaw. He is biologically incapable of not helping. It's proof that the empathy code he got from his mom is the master program.
So from retail, he takes this philosophy and he just hones it. He perfects it. And it leads to a truly revolting, almost offensive level of career success.
He goes to these giant, faceless corporations like Lloyd's and Worldwide Technology, and what happens? He immediately gets nominated for all their big mentorship and company values awards. This isn't an accident. It's a pattern. He's like a human plug-in you install to automatically improve morale and productivity.
And for any of you soulless husks out there who still think soft skills are for people who can't do math, let me just present this slide. $20 million. That's the top-line revenue he was responsible for in 2024. That's not a soft skill, sweetie. That's cold, hard cash. His empathy generates a higher GDP than some small island nations. So at this point, you really have to start asking yourself, is he even real? His efficiency is no longer a skill. It's become a pathology. It's just not normal.
Because it's not just a job for him. It's a compulsion. Look at this list. He leaves the office and he literally cannot stop working. He volunteers to be the secretary for a parents group. He coaches 2 different kids' soccer teams. He's a volunteer mentor. Who does that? A normal person comes home from work, and melts into the couch like a forgotten cheese stick. This man comes home and looks for more systems to optimize. It's a sickness.
And so we now look to the next chapter, where we can only assume he will continue to be alarmingly good at what he does, leaving us all wondering if he's secretly a robot. Congratulations, Phillip. Seriously, congratulations.